So you mentioned Brood War. So there was recently the announcement for the Gamers8 tournament in Saudi Arabia, right? Were you hearing a lot about that?
I know about it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy, right? So it's maybe going to be the biggest prize pool Brood War tournament ever if the prize pool is split between StarCraft One and StarCraft Two evenly. But I guess the sort of topic I'm more interested in is the backing and the location of the tournament, right? That's where all the controversy has been around. How do you feel about that? Do you think
I
like
don't like it.
okay,
I now obviously before getting into any sort of what about sort of conversations, which you can immediately do. Saudi Arabia is, from my layman's understanding, one of the worst offenders of human rights abuses and generally uh, morally bankrupt, from my perspective, organizations in the world. And they have a lot of money, a lot of money,
yeah,
and they aren't afraid to use it. So that will get you very far. So that rolls around. And now it's important to note that Saudi Arabia technically owns ESL, or at least is a major I'm not exactly sure, but effectively.
yeah,
Now I don't know what organization, if it's the government or individuals, but I do think there is a difference. An individual is not going to make a difference here in boycotting or otherwise. But if ESL continues operations as relatively usual, like a tournament, if suddenly IEM Katowice became IEM Riyadh, then
yeah.
well, that would be different. But at some point, I think if they're backing the organization hasn't changed. Okay, but there's the literal question of whether some players should even attempt to attend a tournament in Saudi Arabia. So I'm not a fan of it. I will hopefully take the replays they release and cast them with as little, because I want good games for the fans, and I do care about where they come from. I don't know how to fight that particular battle. Put a heck ton of money into it, uh, but I don't love it. And that's a massive understatement. I don't know what to do about it personally. Like, I'm not going to promote the tournament, but I will do what I usually do, which is cast any replays and point out any good StarCraft. So, on one side, obviously, I'm interested in a tournament that supports StarCraft. And on the other side, it's one of the worst ways I've seen it done. So, it's not a great. And just to throw that in there, it kind of feels like how I felt about Blizzard for the last some years, where it's like, I really like StarCraft, but dot dot dot.
Yeah, but a lot.
So the summary is like, I don't know what to do about it, but I will voice my dislike of most parts of it. So that's all I got.
I appreciate that. So sort of tying into the last question.